Alright, this is game 5 of the defense group stage. It's TurtleMasters versus DD. I don't know what the DD stands for. But we do have a captain's mode picking and banning phase this time. So we have a first ban Undying for the early strength that Undying has. You want to go ahead and get rid of his impact on the game with Decay and his Tombstone. If you're not going to first pick him, he is a solid first ban, and we do have the first ban Bounty Hunter. As I've said in previous games, Bounty Hunter's track gold is extremely strong for turning back around a game. We do have a Wisp ban again, so people still have that Wisp fresh in their mind from this tournament. They understand the power that he brings to map control. They don't want to play against this map control, so they're going to go ahead and ban him out, and then of course Magnus as well. Because of his ultimate, you know, it's a 4-second stun, I believe, at level 3, and it goes through BKB, so it's pretty powerful for a team fight. There's not really much you can do against it other than take the stun. We do have Batrider first picked, so you know that's one of the consequences of banning out the Magnus and the Bounty Hunter. You do allow a first pick like Batrider. He's very strong solo lane, very strong mid lane. So it's unclear whether they're going to send him in the off lane or mid lane. He can do either. That's flexibility that DD is going to have going into this game. But a very solid first pick. And then we have Rubik and Darkseer. So Darkseer is probably going to be the off lane for TurtleMasters. We did see previously a Darkseer mid, but that was specifically to counter a TA with her refraction. I don't believe we will see a Darkseer going mid, especially if we find a lineup that has Batrider going mid. Rubik might be the mid, and he might just go for the level 6 and maybe steal a spell off Batrider to gank with. So it's an interesting pickup though, I think, to pick up Rubik this early, because now DD can plan around the Rubik pick and say, hey, you know what, he is going to be able to steal spells, so let's be mindful of that as we pick our heroes. You know, so they'll be more careful. Like if you pick something like Tidehunter, they might pick something else to combo stun with the Tidehunter to be sure that Rubik's stun locked every time Tidehunter ults, so Tidehunter can get an anchor smash off after the ultimate. That's just one of the problems with picking Rubik this early. And so it'll be interesting to see what DD picks up as their next two heroes. So we do have a Luna and a Shadow Demon. We probably will see a safe lane tri-lane then at this point. You might see an off-lane Batrider and a mid Shadow Demon if they decide not to run Shadow Demon on support. He is a very strong mid. We do have the Luna pick up with a Rubik though, and Luna's ultimate is pretty easy to pick off in Aruba as a Rubik because he does have pretty good range on his ultimate, and without something actually stun locking him down, giving her time to cast anything else. The only thing she has besides her ultimate to cast is Lucent Beam, so if she ever ultimates and this isn't on cooldown and she doesn't cast it right away, Rubik is going to get the Luna ultimate, and that's a pretty strong ultimate to steal. It's not the strongest though, because it does require Rubik to be standing in the middle of their team for it to be effective, and Rubik is a fairly squishy hero, so you know, it is pretty easy to pick him off when he tries to Luna ultimate. But if he uses it to gank in the woods, if he catches somebody off and pops the Luna ultimate, that is a really strong spell for him to have. So we do have a Gyrocopter. I'd expect an aggressive tri-lane from TurtleMasters, but I could be wrong because their name is TurtleMasters. So Rubik and Gyrocopter. Generally when you see a Gyrocopter picked up, it is an aggressive tri-lane because Gyrocopter is fairly good at diving on heroes. With his homing missile and then his rocket barrage. You want to see a lot of action on the Gyrocopter. He carries by getting lots of early kills more than just straight up farming. You want to see him get some very early levels. The faster he can level up by getting those kills, the stronger he's going to be going into mid game. Going to the bans, we do have a Broodmother and a Jakiro ban. Broodmother, of course, for the split push she provides. anytime you see a Luna, you'll probably see some split push bans because Luna on her own can push a lane so hard you don't want to be worrying about two lanes. And then the Jakiro ban, of course, because he's just a really strong support, and they don't want to see him lined up with the Shadow Demon or Luna, so they're just going to go ahead and ban him out. You do have a Disruptor ban, of course, with this aggressive tri-lane, a Disruptor wall, and of course the ability to send the hero back to where they were 4 seconds ago could be really strong with the Rubik and Gyrocopter, as if anybody gets called out, then they try and flee, Disruptor can send them straight back for the easy kill. And then Enigma, in case... So we do have a Nature's Prophet pickup. There's the split push I was talking about. They did ban out Tidehunter. I'm not sure that Tidehunter was the best ban in this choice. I think they should have banned out more of the split push with their bans. The Enigma was banned out on DD team, so they could have just gone straight for the Furion. But they chose Tidehunter, and the reason I say I'm not so sure about the Tidehunter ban is because they do have a Rubik, and with the recent nerfs to Tidehunter's ultimate, it is a lot slower, and Rubik, if he's far enough out, can actually steal the Tidehunter ultimate before he's stunned by it. So we do have a Queen of Pain pickup. We probably will see her in the mid lane. We might see her off laning, or in the safe lane in the top lane, and we might. She's a really strong solo hero, so I expect to see her in her solo lane. But really, something interesting we might see is actually a jungling Darkseer, and that may be why they banned out the Enigma. Is they expect a jungle tri-lane working up on TurtleMasters, so maybe like a Gyrocopter Rubik and a dual lane with a jungler to support them. I haven't actually seen TurtleMasters play, so I'm not familiar with their preferred playstyles. And then we do have Beastmaster as the offlane hero for DD, so you will see a Shadow Demon Luna in the bottom lane, probably with the Nature's Prophet jungling beside them, a Batrider mid, and a Beastmaster in the top lane. One of the reasons Beastmaster is so strong in the offlane is because he can abandon the lane and go stack Ancients and make up for lost experience later. An extra benefit for that, if Beastmaster's stacking Ancients already from level 1, Luna can benefit from that as well. Beastmaster can get the experience using his axes, and Luna can come pick off the kills and get all the gold. And so they both win in that situation. Also with the Furion trees tanking the Ancients, they can do Ancients a lot earlier with stacked Ancients. And so we will see an offlane Darkseer. Well, I say offlane, but a solo lane Darkseer and a probably mid Queen of Pain, and Gyrocopter Rubik Lina tri-lane. It'll be interesting to see if they do an aggressive tri-lane. I hope they do, although it looks like Quap is headed bottom. One of the reasons I say I hope they do is because there is a Furion in the jungle for Rubik and Lina to be able to harass that. No, she is headed mid. Now the reason I know she's headed mid is because she saved 254 gold. I thought because of how early she was leaving the fountain, I was going to see a ward be dropped on her and her head down. And we are seeing an aggressive tri-lane. So they will be able to harass the Furion. Hopefully they can shut down his farm, and hopefully they can zone out the Luna like we've seen in a couple of previous games. Zoning out the Luna is probably the biggest thing they need to do this game. If Luna's able to get her farm, then she's just going to outcarry everybody on the Turtle team. So we do have Darkseer solo in the top lane, and he will be against the Beastmaster. Beastmaster is going to enjoy this. I like this little Necromicon courier.
30 seconds to
probably have to pick that up. But Beastmaster is going to enjoy this because Darkseer doesn't have really any innate ability to harass the Beastmaster out of lane. Yes, he can Ion Shell and chase the Beastmaster, but Beastmaster has 310 base move speed, so he can escape very easily, as well as Beastmaster having a high base HP, and Darkseer is a melee hero, so Beastmaster doesn't have to worry about harass. At the very worst, if he's not able to get farm, he can at least stay in lane and get the experience that he desires. Because remember, Beastmaster is just a hero that's trying to hit that fast level 6 so he can start ganking with his team. So we do have Shadow Demon, Luna in the bottom lane, and Furion is headed to the jungle, and we do have a mid Batrider. I should probably pause for a moment real quick and go over who's playing which hero. I forgot to do that right when we got in game. And am I on directed camera? I am on free camera. I don't know why it won't let me. Okay, so there we go. So TurtleMasters is on the Quap mid. We do have a Batrider from Calculus Dota. Shaksa is on the... Oh, I switched teams there. Let me go back to this. So Nikwa on the Quap. We do have EGM on the Darkseer. Halcyon J on the Lena, and Halo on the Rubik, and down here on the Gyrocopter will be Smolgolig. So then on the DD team, we have Rise on the Luna. He will be farming. And we have Mino Dota on Shadow Demon. Link on Furion. Calculus Dota on Batrider. And Shaksa on the Beastmaster. So let me resume the game now. Let my Steam notification. I should probably start turning those off while I stream. So as I said, Quap is going for the fast bottle. She starts with 280 gold. We have 400 on the Batrider, so he is going to get his bottle a little sooner than the Quap, assuming he gets these last hits. But with the extra damage afforded by Sticky Napalm, as you can see, it's 10 extra damage per stack, and he's got 5 stacks, so he's doing 50 extra damage already. He does 100 damage on creeps right now, so now 110 damage. As you see, he has a pretty easy time last hitting. So he should have his bottle shortly. We do have sentries up on Shadow Demon. One of the reasons he's doing this is to make sure that they don't have vision around here. So this one affords a little bit of counter warding vision right here in the lane in case they ward behind his tower. As well as if they ward right around here, he wants to be able to see it. And he also has an extra one if they block his pull camp, he wants to be able to block it. They do have a ward up in the trees over here blocking his pull camp. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to counter ward this. Because he is probably want to pull. He's going to want to pull as soon as this lane gets pushed out. Luna won't be able to enter the lane, not with a dual lane. And Milkshake really wants to play, but I kind of explained what's going on. So this Gyrocopter is going to have farm. Luna's going to play very passively because a solo Shadow Demon is not going to be able to compete with the actual legitimate tri-lane that's on the TurtleMasters side. They have a pseudo tri-lane, which means this Furion will be helping the lane, but it's not going to be enough help to really go against 2 dedicated supports around this Gyrocopter. But Luna's not too worried about it because they're actually having a tough time of pulling this lane off the tower. Luna has excellent lane control right now. She is managing to keep her creeps back here in this safe area where they can't really jump on her. You might see the ability to dive in this area though as soon as these supports catch level 2. They are sitting in experience range, so we do have Lena as level 2, Gyrocopter level 2. If Rubik gets his level 2, we might see them actually jumping on Luna and they should be able to kill her. Although Shadow Demon is level 2 as well, and if he's able to get a good disruption off, he will save the Luna, or if they catch somebody out, he might disrupt and actually go for the kill. So we do have the bottle already. This, as I said, you do save up money to go ahead and get that early bottle, and as you can see, he got the 2-minute rune. It was a haste rune, and so now he's hasted. He is going to dive on this Quap, and he probably will. Oh, he's changed his mind. That was interesting. He took enough tower damage there where he had to back off, and so Quap actually did something very, very big there. She knows she's against a Batrider with a bottle. She knows his ability to dive. And we do actually have Furion ganking, and so they did catch a support out. That's really strong for the Furion. What this does is give Luna a lot more positioning than she had previously had. Now that she has levels on their supports, so as you can see, they're level 2. Luna's level 3. She's got a level up on them. That's what she wants to keep. Now she can sit in lane. She can farm. She's not as afraid as she was before. But what I was going to go over, Queen of Pain leveled up a level in Shadow Strike. Now the reason she did this, she knows Batrider can dive on her. She knows part of his strength is his early bottle though, and that's most of his regen. So if she can Shadow Strike, it prevents him from bottling. And as you saw there, it actually saved her from him being able to tower dive with the haste rune. He popped his haste rune, realized, you know what, my bottle charges aren't actually healing me, and he had to back up. and wait for the Shadow Strike to wear off before he could heal and get back in lane. So a very big decision by the Queen of Pain to get that Shadow Strike so that she could remain in lane against the Batrider. So we do have Darkseer up here. He has 26 last hits. We have 22 on the Beastmaster. As I said, Darkseer has a difficult time zoning out the Beastmaster. There's not really much he can do other than running an Iron Shell, but that's really not worth it. He knows it's not going to do anything to the Beastmaster, so he might as well save his mana. He's just, like as I said, he popped his Iron Shell, Beastmaster just killed the creep. He might as well save his mana, and perhaps if he uses his Iron Shell to jungle as well, he could pass up the Beastmaster even more in levels and gain an advantage over him that way. So Luna is still keeping her creep wave very pushed back to her tower. She's not really having to leave a safe area near her tower. She's doing a very good job with that. She does have early Tranquil Boots as well. This means that even if the supports come in and harass her some, she will be able to maintain at max HP. Something notable of the supports right now, they've both left the lane. They're allowing Gyrocopter to get solo experience. What this allows Gyrocopter to do is compete with the Luna. So even though she has levels, he will as well. If they stay around always leeching experience and Luna gets an early kill, then okay, we do see them actually jumping on the Luna, but she's too fast for Tranquil Boots. She has 380 move speed right now, 405 with the Tranquil active. So there's really not much they can do against the Luna. They really need to catch the Shadow Demon out, or push the wave and dive the tower if they can. But what I was going to say, Luna, with that early kill, got some experience advantage. The way to compensate for that is to leave a solo lane for the Gyrocopter as much as you can, stand out of experience lane in the tri-lane support, and let Gyrocopter catch back up, and that's what they've done. So Gyrocopter and Luna, so they're pretty close in experience. She's a little bit ahead, but she would be almost a level ahead with the early kills and the farm she's getting. If the supports stayed in lane. I need to be specific about that. So we do have Queen of Pain still mid. It looks like Batrider's having an easy time. Looks like he's having to actually ball a crow. So Queen of Pain may have actually denied that rune. One thing to note here, the Batrider is able to be a little lax on his wards from his team, and this is due to the Beastmaster getting those early levels and popping out his Hawk and entire candy bucket. Yeah, this isn't a candy bucket, but he is leaving his Hawk to camp the runes early on, and Shaksa does. So he's level 6. So as I said, Shaksa is level 6 and he rotates down the bottom lane to use his ultimate. That's a very big play, is what the Luna needs. The more kills that happen down there and the more levels she's able to gain, the easier it is for them to leave her solo. The more they can leave her solo and the more she can farm on their own, the stronger she's going to become. So really they're trying to make it where these supports, so this support's level 3. She can't come harass out a Luna. This Luna's level 6. Luna has her ultimate. She can farm up here. She knows she's not really in big danger. As you see, here she is farming out here. And what has the Dire team done? They've actually rotated out of the lane. They've now lost enough experience that the tri-lane, as an aggressive tri-lane, will just be feeding. So they have to abandon it. So the supports are roaming. It looks like they'll probably try and get a kill on this Beastmaster, or at least zone him out of the lane. A bit of miscommunication there, I believe. Because we do have Gyrocopter dropping his bomb, his homing missile, when Rubik was right here, probably expecting Rubik to come in and grab the Beastmaster. Rubik was actually trying to pull, I believe. I believe he was trying to pull the creep wave. But with recent nerfs to pull the pull range and the camp hitboxes, you do actually have to pull, you have to cut down this back tree to pull the lane in the top lane now. So Rubik's given up trying to pull that one, it looks like. He might go for a secondary pull where you pull this one up right as this camp dies. It looks like that's what he's going to do. But Beastmaster realizes his lane's been pulled, and he blocks the second pull with the boar. Now, something really big to note here, if you only single pull off of this camp, which Rubik was just forced to do by the Beastmaster, then you get a double creep wave like this. It's going to push the lane out, and Beastmaster's going to get that farm. Even with the tri-lane up here trying to zone him out. And it looks like he's going to assist the Bat Rider. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to pick up a kill on Bat Rider, and they will be able to because the Quap was able to follow up. And that's a very important kill for Gyrocopter. So Luna was getting kills previously. She was getting kills on supports though. What just happened there was Gyrocopter got the kill experience from 2 solo lanes. Their solo off lane and their solo mid. So if you look, Gyrocopter's now level 8, Luna's level 7. He just passed up Luna simply because those 2 heroes, the chances in the creep pulls and what this affects on the meta. I don't quite understand what you mean by the chances on the creep pulls.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But I will address it after the analysis if that helps. I can go pretty in depth on that. So Quap is getting an Ogre Club. It looks like she probably... I'm actually unclear if she's going straight for a BKB. She might be going for Aghanims. If you go for Aghanims though, you generally pick up the point booster first. The reason being, 10 strength, if you look, 19 hit points per strength. This adds 190 HP. And if you look right here at the point booster, it adds 150 mana and 200 health for 200 more gold. So she would be getting 10 more HP plus the extra mana. That's pretty useful early game, so it's generally advised to pick up the point booster first. So in the bottom lane right now, it's pretty interesting to see that we don't have Luna down there farming. It looks like she's actually jungling right now instead of farming a lane. This is to get the Shadow Demon some solo experience, hopefully catch him back up as the support that he was. He got pretty zoned out even though Luna wasn't. Let's see. So we do have Darkseer rotating into the jungle. He is picking up an early mech. And we do have Gyrocopter getting some free farm in the top lane. So as I said, they've given up on trying to zone out the Luna. They said, you know what, she's too strong as a carry at this point. We've given her too much experience. Let's rotate our tri-lane. Let's get this Gyrocopter some free farm. Let him catch back up. The interesting thing here, though, is that they've left Rubik to solo lane. And it looks like he is getting dived there. And an easy kill for him. So that's what I was about to talk about. Leaving Rubik to solo lane when he's an under-leveled support in the off lane, that's very dangerous, especially when you know their carry's there and the support that was with the carry. It would have been better for Darkseer to rotate down to the off lane. One reason you do this is it opens up the jungle. As you see, we do have a Helm Dominator or Gyrocopter. This allows him to jungle, so opening up the jungle instead of Darkseer jungling, I don't know that that was the best play by Lena, but she may have needed the gold for something else. So I won't judge her on that. But this opens up the jungle for Gyrocopter to farm when his lane gets pushed. As you see, the lane's pushed to tower. He rotates into the jungle, just farms some creeps. By the time he gets done, the lane will be pushed back out to right here or right here, and he'll be able to resume farming in the lane. So that's something really big to note. Darkseer has rotated down now. I would have liked to see him do that before the Rubik got called out solo. But they did adjust after it happened. A reactive adjustment is better than no adjustment at all. And we do have Luna with her Helm of the Dominator jungling as well. Something to note, Gyrocopter with his flat cannon maxed out has a fairly easy time of jungling. Just like the Luna with her Moonglaive, the bouncing damage allows her to kill camps faster. Gyrocopter's flat cannons allowing him to hit multiple creeps at the same time, so he can farm pretty big stacks, and he can also push waves out pretty fast. So Gyrocopter is going to be able to compete with this Luna, although Luna generally carries harder than a Gyrocopter if they have equal farm. So it looks like Beastmaster was able to rotate down and get a kill on the Darkseer. He's making very good use of his ultimate. When you're playing Beastmaster, you want to see the ultimate on cooldown at all times. Carry that TP. As you can see, he's still got 2 teleports on him. He's ready for it at all times. We may see mana boots pick up. Yep, we do have mana boots picked up. And looks like they'll go ahead and push this tower. But the reason you want to see his ult on cooldown is because every second that it's not on cooldown is a moment that Beastmaster's not ganking, he's not helping his team. Beastmaster doesn't really need the farm from the lane as much. That was so the Quap had a very dangerous play there. She did try and deny the tower. She's pretty lucky actually that Shadow Demon didn't get his demonic purge off. If he had gotten purge off on her, I'm pretty sure that would have killed her. Maybe not. She still has 400 HP from the earlier Ogre Club. She is going BKB first. This, of course, is to allow her to fight within the Luna ultimate, as well as in Batrider Fire. This is a lot of AoE damage between the two of them. One thing to note, Beastmaster Roar does go through BKB, so she's still able to be locked down and ganked if Beastmaster gets on top of her. One thing to look for at this point, I believe, so we have a Blink Dagger on Batrider. I'm expecting to see a Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster at some point. So there's some big teleports and Lena ult to finish off the lane. So we do have Beastmaster teleporting in and being able to use his ultimate as soon as it comes off cooldown, like I was talking about. Instantly helps his team, although they did all 5 die there. That probably wasn't the best team fight they could have chosen going in such staggered formation as they did. Generally, if you fight a 5v5 team fight, you want to be able to go in as a group. Going in 2 at a time is really fighting a 2v5, a 2v5, a 2v5. And as you can see, they didn't really get anything out of it. Although I believe there was a buyback, possibly. I believe Beastmaster's ultimate did go off and they got a kill on that one. I think there was either a buyback or such a low cooldown that they were able to teleport back in. I wasn't paying that close enough attention to it. So, you know, there might not have been a kill because we do have the mechanism up in Darkseer. This is effectively 250 extra HP for all of his teammates. It's almost like the Chin ultimate as long as Darkseer's in the area. One thing to note, if you look at recommended items for Darkseer, you will see a Vanguard. A Vanguard adds effectively the same HP as a mechanism. And with a mechanism, you get bonus to armor and attributes instead of the block. So if you actually have, as you can see, Darkseer has 800 mana. If you have the mana pool for a mechanism is actually a stronger item than a Vanguard. So if you can build a mechanism, if you want to build a Vanguard, check your mana pool. If you're an intelligence hero, you pretty much are guaranteed to have the mana pool for it. Build a mechanism instead. It helps your team, it helps you more. And we do have a pick off on the Shadow Demon. So Gyrocopter's making good work of his top lane. They keep roaming into it solo and getting picked off, or in this case 2, but with an easy Quap gank. That wasn't the best time for Quap to teleport in. So Gyrocopter, of course, deciding he's going to man up on the Beastmaster, saying, you know what, Quap's on our way, we'll man up and kill the Beastmaster. But this early Blink Dagger on Batrider allows him to blink in and catch her by surprise. Furion, of course, like I was talking about with the split push ability. So Luna's farming bottom lane, Furion TP's top to help out with the team fight. We do have a Midas on Furion, as well as a mechanism now though. I don't believe he had the mech earlier.
Middle tower is under attack.
So Beastmaster's ult will be up in 15 seconds. I'd expect to see them force some sort of team fight. And we do have Luna pushing bottom lane, knowing that the whole enemy team is in the top lane. And there's the power of Moonglade's push. She just annihilates the creep wave. She has an easy time with this. And as well as hitting the creep wave, her hits, when there aren't enough creeps, are going to bounce off the creep wave and into the tower. So she already starts doing damage in the tower. And then she rotates straight to their stacked ancients. This will be actually pretty strong for the Luna if she's able to pick these up, because they were stacking these, as you can see. Helm of the Dominator on Gyrocopter, he took over a creep. They're using the neutral creep to stack ancients for him to go farm later. Luna picked up some of those ancients. She wasn't feeling bold enough to take all of them. If she had, that would have been a very big play by her. She did take some of them though, so that's better than nothing. We do have a lot of boar harass coming out of the Beastmaster. That boar is no more. So, Rubik does have his spell still. He's had it for a little while, but I haven't noticed him stealing any spells. Hopefully we'll see him be able to pick up one of the ultimates, maybe from Shadow Demon or Luna, or perhaps even Beastmaster. Beastmaster would probably be the best one to take at this point. Team fight wise, just so that they can perhaps lock down maybe the Luna from running away or the Bat Rider. Okay, so we do have a spell steal, one Shadow Poison. That's actually Shadow Fiend's weakest spell. So that the only good thing he's getting out of Shadow Poison right now is the vision it provides. And we are going to have a tower push from Gyrocopter. So that's very good for them. One reason you want to have this tower pushed out right now for them is because this opens up effectively. This just shifted the map control for the Dire team from right around here to right around here. This really opens up Luna to being ganked in her own jungle, although she does already have her BKB, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to gank her. They're really going to have to catch her out. If she does pop that BKB, there isn't anyone on the Turtle side that can keep up with her. Perhaps Quap, if she times her blinks right, and maybe a little bit from Darkseer. If he's able to surge somebody, they might be able to keep up with her a little while, but it's really not going to be enough. So I would honestly look to see a Manta pick up and perhaps a Yasha on the Gyrocopter at this point. He is going to need the move speed if he wants to fight against this Luna, otherwise she's just going to retreat every time they go on her. So he has 2,400 gold, waiting to see what he buys with that. He might be saving for a buyback. Knowing that this is a push team, he should also realize, so he is getting blinked on, and as you can see there's another ultimate that goes through BKB. The damage doesn't from the fire, but you're still going to be dragged, and Bat Rider is going to get away.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And we do still have Luna still juggling. So I'd also look to see the Manta pick up on Luna, because she knows, you know what, I'm faster than everybody. She wants to abuse this. With her BKB, she pretty much has a safe getaway right now. 1200 HP and a BKB. Nobody has the auto attacks to bring down Luna right now. And they don't have a good enough disable at this point. Lina takes some setup, and Rubik, if Rubik's able to grab, and perhaps there's some follow-up from the Lina, they might be able to kill her. But it's going to take some careful coordination, and it's probably going to take a Gyrocopter homing missile as well. So to be able to homing missile without her noticing is going to be really hard, but if they manage to do it, they should be able to kill the Luna. But any of these heroes by themselves won't be able to. So we do have him counter warding. Something interesting to note, so you saw two different sentries placed here. One sentry is right here, one sentry is up here. The reason for placing a sentry on top of the ledge would be to give you vision on that ledge. He placed his ward as well before instead of just placing the sentry and counter warding, so he would already have vision on this ledge. The sentry here is the better sentry because it grants you vision over here and over here as well as over here. This one is just right here. So if you can ward, if you're trying to counter ward and you can place sentries between two camps, you want to be able to do that. We do have the support getting harassed down by the boar, and it looks like Bat Rider took that moment to go ahead and catch the Darkseer who came to save his support. They probably were actually aiming to kill the Rubik, but Darkseer just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You do have Rubik with a flaming lasso, so it'll be interesting to see if he can actually catch up. You are going to have a death on the Furion. I'd like to see a deny here, but we do have Disruptor disrupting him, and he died. I would have rather seen a deny from them on that. You can deny the poison from the Queen of Pain. And there's the strength of the early BKBs that I was talking about. They did rush BKBs. They were able to fight in Luna Ultimate. As you see, she ultimated, and she found herself standing in the middle of two heroes with BKBs who were just ignoring her ultimate. And that was a buyback death on the Furion, I believe. He did just buy back. and he TP'd straight in and gets ulted by Lina and dies. So that was a waste of extra gold for him. Not the best decision. So we do have a blink on Lina now. So part of what I was talking about with the setup with Rubik, it's going to be really hard to set up on the Luna. Getting a blink dagger on Lina is going to help compensate for that. Rubik can grab without them being able to see the Lina. She can blink in and follow up with the stun because he does have 2.5 seconds on his grab. It actually 3.5 seconds with the lift and stun duration. 2.5 seconds is level 1. So that is enough time for Lina to set up her stun. And they are going to go straight into the Rosh pit and try and pick up a Rosh after winning that team fight. They know Furion down for a few more seconds and it'll take some time to set him up. But we do have Bat Rider investigating, so we have the Hawk coming in to give him vision. You might see an attempt to steal the... Oh, a very good blast by the Bat Rider. Wow. So, you just saw both these supports get hit by the Furion ultimate. The reason this is possible is because when Bat Rider's using Flame Ride, he is a flying target, so he can see farther. He's like the Beastmaster Hawk. So he could actually see up on this ledge and see the Rubik and the Lina. This allowed Furion to cast his ultimate and for it to pop. Oh, very big plays by the Darkseer too. So he basically did back to the he did back to the Bat Rider what Bat Rider did to his team. Although that wasn't the best team fight for them, but there is going to be an easy pickup on the Rosh for the Luna. This is going to make her substantially harder to kill, of course, with the she's gonna keep her teleport. That's important. The reason she sold her magic wand and kept the teleport, of course, she's gonna teleport out, save the Aegis, not lose the Aegis right away. She could have run straight out and fall and just lost the Aegis and like it's okay, we killed Rosh, but she chose to keep the Aegis, sacrifice what team was left there and say, you know what, the Aegis is more important because it will set us up for team fights later. So we'll be watching, and hopefully that was a good decision for her. We'll see if that allows her to go into the next team fight and win it. It should be able to, seeing as they won the team fight right here. I believe they should be able to win a team fight here or at the other two towers. Queen of Pain still sitting on a BKB. So we are going to see a butterfly out of the gyrocopter. Now, part of the problem with Luna, although he's blocked her ultimate, he understands that she's a carry, and at this point her auto attacks are going to start doing big damage. As you can see, she's already doing 200 damage, and that's also splitting, so it bounces 5 times. And if she's hitting his whole team, that butterfly with the misses are going to help keep him alive. Along with the lifesteal, if he gets enough misses in a row while he's fighting Luna, he will be able to regen the life that all the life that he's lost from her damaging him. They really want these boars dead. But Beastmaster's doing a good job of harassing the supports with the boars. And he's not just harassing them though, he's keeping vision of them. So, you see again from this Rubik, he is placing sentries right as he places his wards, and he's placing them in the same spot. Often it's better to place a sentry, scout around and make sure there's no ward vision, and then ward there. You don't want the enemy team to see your ward. If there was a ward here, he placed a sentry in his ward, and he saw this ward and killed it, they know where he warded at. So when they come and place a sentry, they're going to kill both of his wards as well. And as I was saying, he wards right on top of his ward spot. It would be better for him to ward down here, because then he could see up here as well. He could also see this ledge or this ledge. And this is a pretty often used ward spot right here, so that you can see the enemy's ancients. But then also the Radiant would ward it so that they can see for Luna to come farm the ancients and make sure nobody's coming to gank her. So I would like to see him be a bit more varied with his sentry ward positioning. For example, you see this ward right here. Here's the Radiant ward, and here's their sentry ward. So I can kind of see if there's any vision around mid, if there's any sentries around mid, or if there's any wards around mid, giving the mid vision for the roam across the mid ramp. And we do have a smoke gank headed bottom. So it's going to be on the Furion. This should be an easy kill. Yeah, it's a very easy kill. I think they were actually expecting to find the Luna. But as I said, they've got ward vision down here. They don't actually know that the Luna was up here farming the Ancients. If they had placed a more aggressive ward, put it right here instead, they'd still get this ramp vision right here that they wanted. But then they'd also know where Luna was and know that they were ganking the Furion over the Luna. They really want to get a kill on the Luna. I'm pretty sure that's what that smoke was invested for. So, something to note here, something a lot of people don't do, the Gyrocopter, he's not going to defend this tower. So instead of standing here and watching, where he could be jumped on by the Radiant team, he even pulls all the way back to his next tower. You really shouldn't stand where you're not prepared to fight. If you're standing somewhere that when the fight engages, you're going to have to back out of, you're having what's called bad positioning. So Gyrocopter did the right thing there. He waited at his tower. He said, you know what, we're not defending this tower. I'm not even going to watch. I'm going to wait in my base, let them push the tower, and farm the creep wave. So Luna does have her butterfly. So for the same reason Gyrocopter is working on his, Gyrocopter does a lot of physical damage. You want to go ahead and get the evades for that. It's going to be very hard to kill Luna now. She's going to take a lot of misses. And with the BKB popped, most of this damage is physical damage other than the auto attack damage from Gyrocopter. And perhaps the auto attack damage from Luna herself if she goes through the Darkseer ultimate. So Butterfly, very good pickup for her, as well as the extra damage it gives her and the attack speed. Remember, every time she attacks, it's going to bounce 5 times. So the fact that she's attacking faster just means more Moonglaze coming out. Although this is often the reason you'll... So there she goes. Lots of damage there. 250 damage a hit. But that is one of the reasons you see Mantas picked up on Luna, because her illusions do proc the Moonglaze. And it allows her to push that much faster. But she chose to go Butterfly instead. And it seems to be working out with her. She's just going to push for their team instead of solo pushing the lane. And she is still sitting on that Aegis, so...
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It looks like Rubik will be going for a Force Staff. The reason I say this, Staff of Wizardry, of course, can build into all of these items. The reason I would think of Force Staff is because of Furion on the enemy team. And this is part of the power of Luna's push, like I was talking about. As you can see, she's killing these houses behind the barracks just by attacking the house by the barracks. She's also hitting the mid towers. If you see, these are already being auto-attack now. If she has a Manta up, that many more glaives are bouncing in the enemy base. So they do go through... I believe the Aegis may have actually worn off before she got a chance to use it, so she straight up died. It doesn't look like she even used her BKB. I think she was expecting the Aegis to come up, and it wore off a second too soon. So, bad timing on the Luna's part. They should have pushed a little bit sooner. We do have a BKB coming up on Darkseer for the previously mentioned reasons with Quap, and Gyrocopter getting a BKB is to fight in that Luna ult. The less damage she can output with her ult, the easier it is to fight against her. She's already going to be doing a lot of auto attack damage. You want to cut out as much magical damage as possible. So I was saying Force Staff, the Force Staff pickup is for the Furion. Furion's Sprout traps someone in place for 3 seconds. If you have a Force Staff, you can salvage that person. One of the biggest parts of Dota 2 is positioning, and Furion Sprout actually limits your positioning to that ring of trees. So if you can help restore their positioning by force staffing them out of the ring of trees, if they aim towards your team, you can actually force staff them back to your team. And we do have him warding out a little more now, but he is still placing his sentry ward on the ward spot instead of between ward spots. So, although that time is a little bit different because he did give himself vision like that and not have to take time to walk up the cliff. He's like, you know what, is there a ward there? And they are going to see the Beastmaster with that sentry ward. They should have had vision on that. I believe he should have gotten just close enough. We will see though. We do have smokes from the entire team, and it does look like they're backing. Well, maybe not. Turtle EGM. He is called out. So they actually didn't have the vision to see that smoke, which is unfortunate for them. And that was just a bad decision by Lina. She saw Darkseer getting ganked, and instead of walking this way, she walked out this way. Revealed herself, easily got jumped on and killed. So we are going to see a sheep stick coming up on Queen of Pain. This is to help initiate on the Luna if they're able to gank her. The sheep stick, if Queen of Pain can blink in and sheep her fast enough, she won't be able to BKB in the team fights. And this is what I was talking about with the roar. So right there, Gyrocopter came in with his BKB pops. He's like, I'm not afraid of a Luna ult. But what he didn't account for was the Beastmaster ult. Beastmaster, of course, holding him in place while Luna just beat on him. He did buy back to come back and get a kill. So this is going to save their team for now. And some easy kill pickups there. So basically, if Queen of Pain can finish her sheep and blink in and lock down the Luna, Luna will be fairly easy to kill in sheeped mode if they can kill her in 5 seconds, but with Lina ultimate and all the auto attack damage and burst damage from Gyrocopter, they should be able to do that. But we do have BKBs up. We have a pipe up as well, so BKBs up. We don't have a BKB on Furion. I'd expect to see a BKB on Furion. He wants to be able to join his team with this auto attack damage so that they can limit the amount of damage output from Luna and Queen of Pain. Most of their damage is magical damage between these two heroes. We do have a Ghost Scepter on the Shadow Demon. That's an interesting choice for Shadow Demon. It's strong against the Gyrocopter, but the problem with that is if he Ghost Scepters himself, if you look at Lina's ultimate, it's already doing 900 damage. So Ghost Scepter is an extra 40% extra magic damage. So 900 plus an extra 40% is 1200 damage. And guess who's got 1200 HP? Lina pretty much one-shots him with her ultimate if she's in Ghost Scepter form. That's not going to be the best situation for Shadow Demon to place him in if he wants to survive. He probably should have gone for straight HP. He made the right decision with Power Treads, but it'll be interesting to see if this cost him. He might be betting on the fact that Lina will probably be trying to focus the Luna. Also, something big to note that happened in the last fight that I didn't get a chance to mention because I was talking about other things. Luna did wait to use her ultimate after the BKBs were down by both Queen of Pain and Gyrocopter. So this did allow her to get some early kills on some heroes. It kept that teamfight top from being a total loss. The buyback was pretty big from Gyrocopter though, and I believe he's got 2 minutes more on cooldown. If they teamfight this next one before he's able to buy back, and they win the teamfight, they will be able to actually push the entire base and finish it. It won't take Luna long to kill this tower. And then there's just 3 racks here. These racks are already exposed, so she won't even have to kill the tower top. We do have a smoke gank set up. It looks like they're expecting Luna to try and come steal their ancients. But that's not what's happening. She is down here farming her own jungle. We have words from both teams on the ramps over here. And we actually do have Roshan attempt. So we have a Hawk vision on this though, so they know that the enemy team's doing Roshan, and it looks like they're setting up for this team fight with a smoke of their own. Beastmaster wasn't able to get in range for his roar though before he was revealed, so unfortunate for them. Fortunate for the Dire team, but unfortunate that they couldn't get the Roshan. Beastmaster, knowing it's about to be up, went ahead and positioned his Hawk where it'd be invisible and waiting. Darkseer doing a good job guessing where the Hawk is and killing it. So that was a very good Hawk kill by the Darkseer. So we do have 19 more seconds without the Hawk. They're going to take advantage of this and go ahead and attempt a Roshan again, knowing that the enemy team doesn't have vision. Beastmaster says, you know what? I still have my boar. I can still get vision. It gets 1 shot. So now Shadow Demon is going to use his Shadow Poison to try and get what vision he can. We do have Batrider attempting to pop people up on the ledge and separate them again. If he's able to do that to Gyrocopter, the rest of his team can be picked off fairly easily. So we do have the sheep on the gyrocopter, but he is able to get his BKB up, and he does have a satanic up, so as you can see, he instantly recovers. Luna looks like she's going straight in for a push. She says, you know what, this team fight went the wrong way. I'm going to straight up push, force them to either come defend or they can keep pursuing my team. She's going to go ahead and do this damage to the middle racks.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
That is a good choice because they know that there's going to be a Roshan down here for the gyrocopter. She's going to make something happen anyways. It looks like she might try and get a second barrack. She might even see her suicide on this one. I believe she has buyback. No, she has 1 minute left on her buyback. So she is going to go ahead and take out 2 racks. She's changed her mind, but I don't know that that was the best decision. It looks like Luna will be trying to get her satanic up shortly as well. She does have the gold for it. She might still be saving for buyback.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It was interesting to see her not man up and finish the racks though. She dodged the stun. She could have finished both racks. She still would have died, but she died anyway. So that was actually the bad decision to run. She should have turned and fight. I think she forgot about the Darkseer vacuum. She said, you know what? I dodged the Lina stun. Lina can't stun me now. I'll just TP straight out and I'll be okay. Darkseer, of course, with his vacuum also mini stunning. So she was called out and she died. So we do have Beastmaster Roar. It's going to be interesting to see if there's follow-up. There will be follow-up from the Batrider and the Furion though. So if there... And this is part of the problem right now. So we have a gank on Gyrocopter, and it turns into a counter gank because Gyrocopter with his Satanic is able to just instantly heal back up as soon as he pops his BKB. He can pop his Satanic, he's not going to be stunned, and then he can just auto attack and he'll bring all of his life back because of course for the 100%, 175% life steal that he gets when he's activated his Satanic. So the Radiant are probably going to lose this barracks. They have 13 more seconds on Luna. I don't think she wants to buy back at this point. I think she wants to go ahead and buy her Satanic. They say, you know what? Both mid racks are already down for their team. This will just put us at a neutral game. I can still go pick off top racks later. So they might not actually commit too much to this fight. They might let it go and then look to go pick off top racks in a moment. So we do have an MKB up on Gyrocopter. It looks like he is actually out farming the Luna. She hasn't finished her Satanic yet. And we have Wild Axes stolen for Rubik. Not the best spell he could steal. He would really want either Batrider or Beastmaster Ultimate so that he can lock down this Luna. Although we do have Luna locked down right here. And there's the kill on Luna. She actually can't buy back, so I believe that should be game. This should be a good game because I believe Gyrocopter will be able to push all of these racks without the enemy team able to oppose him. He does still have Aegis at this point. That's part of the power of the Satanic he's picked up. At any point, he can pop his Satanic. Like right there, he didn't quite get it off, but he did still have Aegis. So something important to note, he could have popped his Satanic as soon as he came back out of Sheep. He didn't. He said, you know what, I don't have time to get enough auto attacks off. So he went ahead and burned the Aegis. Now he still has his Satanic up in case they team fight again after his Aegis loss. It's very important that you save important items till after your Aegis goes down. If you're about to die and you pop your BKB before your Aegis, you're going to die anyways, and then you're not going to have BKB when you come back. So then you're going to be defenseless as soon as you get back from the Aegis respawn. And most likely, your team will be in a bad position to help you. So it's a very important move by Gyrocopter that he saved his Satanic, although it doesn't look like he's going to need it at this point. They've gone ahead and cleaned up all the barracks. I won't say it's GG yet though, because Luna does have the push power to push out the Mega Creeps. The biggest problem is going to be if they can kill Gyrocopter or not. And it looks like Gyrocopter's doing an excellent job of making sure they don't leave Fountain to defend from their Mega Creeps. So we might see the dire victory shortly. And we do finally have the Satanic pickup on Luna. I think she should have actually picked it up sooner because she didn't have buyback earlier, but she was still saving buyback gold. If your buyback's on cooldown, you might as well go ahead and spend your gold and be ready for the next team fight with everything you've got. Instead, she spent 2 times that she's been dead with no buyback, and if she'd had her Satanic to compete with the Gyrocopter, she might have been able to kill him. Instead, he had Satanic, he easily out-lifestole her. He's doing more damage now at this point, I believe. He is doing more damage, and we do have the Luna ultimate picked up by the Rubik. This is a pretty big pickup. It'll be interesting to see if this pays off for him. Although Batrider is invisible over here, looking for a easy pick-off, hopefully. I don't think he'll be able to pick off this Gyrocopter. I think they need to stop worrying about the Gyrocopter and perhaps burn down another hero fast, and maybe make it a 4 vs 5 and then focus the Gyrocopter. So if he can pick off perhaps Rubik or Lina, that would make their team's life a whole lot easier. Luna is going to defend against the Mega Creeps for now. They haven't lost their all of their mid building shit, so it's not completely over. And they do have the barracks exposed on top, and then the tower exposed on bottom. So if they do win a big team fight, Gyrocopter should have buyback. Gyrocopter does have his buyback ready, so if they win a good team fight, they need to push his 5 as fast as they can, or at least his 4 and leave Furion to defend, where he can TP in to help his team when he needs to. And hopefully kill the Gyrocopter again, and maybe kill their whole base. They might even be able to ignore the Gyrocopter and just push the base down with Luna. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But they are going to have to win this next team fight. If they lose this next team fight, they won't be able to stop Gyrocopter from just straight up pushing their base and ending it. Oh, one thing I didn't note earlier, the MKB pickup on Gyrocopter, he already has his MKB. Luna's butterfly no longer affects the Gyrocopter. He can't miss now, while he still has a miss rate against the Luna because she has not been able to pick up her MKB yet. And he does have a data list now, so he will start critting. So we do have some focus on the Gyrocopter. This is a lot of disable, but it's just not enough to kill him with that 2300 HP. And as you can see, he pops his Satanic instantly. That was a pretty big play by the Disruptor, although it doesn't look like it's going to matter at this point. But the Disruptor disrupted Gyrocopter while he was using his Satanic. And there's the GG's. So there was a very good rotation by Turtle to rotate top and get the Gyrocopter farm instead of keeping committed to the tri-lane. It worked out well for them. They were able to out-carry the Luna with the Gyrocopter. It came down to some very good team fights on their parts, and we do have a dire victory for this game. So that is Game 5, DD versus TurtleMasters, and TurtleMasters are the victors.